This week on The Boss Lady, we take a look at the story of a woman who defied her calling. Little did she know it was her saving grace. But how did she start?
I walked from town to Westlands. I have a small baby. I'm looking for a job. I found the interviews had been done. So I went in the afternoon. I did the interview at Virgin Tours, the what ACK Bishop. And the guy was like, you need to report tomorrow. Just like that, I got the job.
Chance favors the prepared mind. From a normal corporate marketing job, Paula Njeri transitioned to car hire business.
There was a side of business that this company was not doing, which was the car rental side. So my boss would be like, if a client is asking for self-drive, they'll be like, you go look. Let's give Paula this job.
This week, we're all about the famously known Mama Car Hire, Paula Njeri Nganga, the CEO and founder of Parasha Car Rentals. In our quest to find Paula Njeri, she was on the road, and so we went where she took us. In good fashion, as a car rental and tours business owner, we were even lucky to get a hold of her. Famously known as Mama Car Hire in Nairobi, is this the passion she had from the beginning? Let's go back to where it all began. Njeri was born and raised in Huruma Estate, Starehe constituency in a family of 5, 2 boys and 3 girls. She was the second born in the family. She went to Salama Primary School and then transferred to Tetu Girls Primary School in Nyeri and finally to Chinga Girls High School. After high school, she went to Kenya School of Monetary Studies to study banking and marketing, which she graduated with a diploma in banking and started working as a salesperson at Yellow Pages Publishing House in Mombasa. She then left for Seasons Group of Hotels, Nairobi, as a customer service person and proceeded to University of Nairobi, where she graduated with a degree in marketing. But how did she end up in tours and travel and a car rental business?
I was looking for a job. So this time I'm like, I really don't care. I just got a baby, by the way. I got a baby when I was very young. I was 23 and I needed a job. And I was so sure I did not want my child to grow up in Huruma. In our years, things were not so bad. But after staying there for so long, things had really deteriorated. I could see the young kids. I could hear the language, the foreign language. So I really didn't want my child to grow there. So I had to work hard. So after 3-4 months, I started looking for a job. And I met this guy in town and said, oh, there's this company that is offering what? No.
Double back.
Marketing. And I was like, okay, so where are they? Westlands, near the mall, go to that company. And hey, I came. So I walked from town, by the way, remember? Sina bus fare kutosha. I walked from town to Westlands. I have a small baby and I'm looking for a job. I came. Guess what? I found the interviews had been done. But this Muindi, as I was leaving, called me back and said, yeah, come here, young girl. What can you do? I said, I wanted a marketing job. Okay, come tomorrow. So I started working at Yellow Pages. Day 1, I didn't even know what it was all about. You're trained like a little bit and you're told this is what you do because interviews had already been done. And then you're told, now go out to the field. So you're given somebody else who knows how to do. And I went to the field and my first client, Nishit and Company, gave me an order to do an advertisement for 76,000. And the next day, the director of marketing had to come down to see who is this person. And then they were like, you're a newcomer. You just came in yesterday. You need to come to the office and sign a letter. And I worked. I went to Mombasa. We established the Mombasa branch for Yellow Pages. There was a lot of competition from the postal Yellow Pages. And then one day we woke up and we found the company had been closed. Yes, there was a directive from the government, there was competition, there was a lawsuit and stuff like that. So I was out of a job.
Out of a job and the new mother, Njeri had her options cut out for her. Quite a lead on to the boss lady profile. Before we continue, here are some of the things you didn't know about Paula Njeri Nganga.
Stayed home for a little bit and then I met my brother's friend and he was like, oh, are you out of a job? I said, yes. So the interview is going on at a company called Virgin Tours. You need to wake up and go. So I told my dad, now my mommy is not in. you dad, you have to take care of this baby. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy diapers. At that time, diapers were expensive. So I went in the afternoon for an interview. I did the interview at Virgin Tours. They were at ACK Bishop. And the guy was like, you need to report tomorrow. And I reported, and my boss was really nice. He was a bit older. I think he saw the potential in me, and he took it upon himself to actually train me in the marketing field, how to dress up, how to do a presentation, how to do, how to even like your body language. And he really took it upon himself. He's called Mr. Kibicho. I don't know if he's still around, by the way. I should look for him. I owe a lot of what I know right now in business because of him. He took it upon himself to really teach me a lot. The professional bit about marketing, how to write a proposal and all that, how to call clients on the phone and all that, how to do debt collection and a lot of that. I decided now I want to get married to the father of my baby.
Yeah, what age were you at the same?
At around 25, 26. And since we were working in the same company, there was no way we were going to get married. So I had to quit. So I told him, you stay on, me I'm going to quit and hustle out there, so that we are able to take care of our child, so that I have also time with the kids. And that's what happened. When I got out, I actually didn't know which direction I was headed, because I didn't even have a car to start with. So now I'm brokering people's cars.
From being fully employed to brokering cars, that was a quick transition. When did she start this?
Virgin Tours was a taxi company, the well-coordinated. Actually, it was a rival of Jatco. The well-coordinated taxis where you call and the taxis there waiting for you. So, but there was a side of business that this company was not doing, which was the car rental side. So my boss would be like, if a client is asking for self-drive, they would be like, you go look. Let's give Paula this job. You understand? So that's what my boss would do. So I came to link up with people who had cars and were willing to give out self-drive. I got to know people who have vans, who would do now trips to the Masai Mara, who would do trips to National Park. I got to know people who had RAV4, because now my boss really did not want to get into the self-drive. He was driver all the way. So anytime this job would come up, even in the office, if a client called, they would refer them to me. So by the time I was leaving this company, at least I had a base. I knew if you want a Prado, I know so-and-so has a Prado. So I can broker make by 2,000, 3,000 bob. If you have a small car, I know somebody who has a small car.
They say entrepreneurship is all about solving problems. And did Paula capitalize on this and made it a side hustle?
At some point, 2 or 3 people believed in me. They brought their cars, so now I'm managing other people's cars. And at some point, I was unable to pay those cars. I don't know where the money was going to. So these guys came and picked up their cars, and I was now back to zero. But I had clients who still believed in me. I had clients who would come all the way from South Africa, write me an email and tell me, we are coming on this day, we want a RAV4. So I had a source, a lady who had a RAV4. So I had a source for the RAV4. So anytime they would come, I'd take the car, airport, get paid. So I had 1, 2, 3 clients who still believed in me. You remember this company that I'm working for is chauffeur driven, but you would get clients who are asking for self-drive. I want to go to a function and I don't need the cab, because as well chauffeur driven is a bit expensive, because you're paying for the driver, you're paying for the car per hour and all that. So you'd find that this company I was working for, they were really not keen into doing self-drive. So when these clients would call, they would refer them to me. They do not want to deal with that, because self-drive is a bit of a hassle. So what I would do, I would liaise with other companies and tell them, oh, from our company we have a self-drive client. They'll be like, okay, tell them to come. We will give them a car. You guys don't do self-drive, so we will give them a car. I make my cut, and that's it.
So that's how she started. But how did she elevate the side hustle to a main hustle?
This Parasha was born by me and my husband Ben. It used to be called Pastera, and Pastera were initials of me, him, and our son. But my husband later got a job in an organization, so he was fully fledged into the job. So I had to continue doing the business. He actually bought me a car and was like, you know what, Mama, endelesha biashara. And it's been a long journey, ups and downs, accidents, incidents. until at some point I had to quit. I'm not doing this thing anymore. It's tough. I was trying for a second child, and in the middle of the hustle, I got a miscarriage. And the doctor was like, I think your job is a lot of a hassle, you need to take time off. So I took time off, 2 years actually. And then I said, I'm not going back to this car hire business. It's a lot of hassle. There's a lot of hassle in getting a car. First of all, maybe the people that you're dealing with are not people you know very well. If this person decides to actually go and vandalize your car, what are you going to do to this person? Assuming this person doesn't have a company, like you, I would hire out a car, because most likely it will be you're hiring out because you need, for the company. But if it's an individual, will you say no to an individual who walks into your company and says, I actually need a car? You will not. So we survive by the grace of God, by the way, and we really pray for our cars, because we've seen a lot in this industry, cars being stolen, cars just disappearing, cars having accidents, and the person just disappears into the thin air. They will not even come to the police to give a statement because maybe they were on the wrong or they were drunk or something like that. We've even had cars being just abandoned somewhere, and you see it on Facebook trending. This car, and you're like, oh, I know this car belongs to my friend. Yeah, and it's for hire. So it's quite a challenge. Transport business everywhere is quite a challenge. From Africa to America, everywhere is a challenge. Because even the matatu industry, you can see our matatu industry, it's a challenge. Yeah, even putting them in order, even the whole transport industry. But when you look outside the country, you have companies like Avis, budgets, companies that have worked over the years, and they put their structure in place. And when you hire a car from them, there's a lot of protocol that goes into it. I think we're yet to get there.
Njeri quit her own business after the loss of her child and the stress brought about by the business. Will she go back to it? Well, all that and more after the break.